Welcome, Grace. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk about a specific subject, and it's absolutely not specific at all, but it's called dancing with non-matter. So
Mm.
would you like to introduce yourself, use your own words, and present your energy?
Yes, dancing with non-matter is so exciting because it's all around us. We can always feel it. And I do this, I feel, in the work I do. So my name is Grace, and I don't like labels because of my Aquarius first house, but I'm a Reiki teacher, Reiki master teacher for the healing arts. I also teach yoga asana. And my intention in anything I do is to bring people together for the greater understanding, the greater involvement of a lot of love. So, love for self, and then also love for each other so that we can hold hand in hand and move into wherever we're heading to next together. So, yeah, I'm just here to play and dance with Capucine today, and I can't wait to dive in a little more.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah.
And I'd love to we met because we because we come from the same location, let's say. We not on this live incarnation, but I mean, of course, we come from planet Earth, but we also come from Andromeda. Do you wanna tell me about
Yeah.
how you feel about this place? We've introduced it quite a few times, and I've also talked a lot about it. So, what's your point of view about Andromeda?
Let's do it. Yeah, so how I came across you was on Twitter. Throat chakra, read it. Oh, okay. Okay, it's gone. Through Twitter, and you were talking about Andromeda, and it was recently that before I found you, I was feeling really connected to this home base through just a meditation I had done back in March. So like the minute we went into quarantine, I was like, okay, well, I need to travel inward and go explore my origins. So I went to a galaxy. I went to this beautiful, like, watery place, and the word that before I knew anything about starseed origins was Andromeda. And I was like, wow, I really heard that so clearly. So then I would just, go on Google and learn a little bit. And then Capucine had tweeted about Andromeda. And I was like, whoa, what? She's from there too? And immediately I was like, okay, I have to reply Grace. Stop being like a secretive Scorpio on Twitter and just branch out and talk to her. And then so she added me to a Twitter group with a bunch of other beautiful Andromedans. And the minute that I kind of got invited into that portal, it was almost like I could let myself be who I am. And I felt really connected to everyone, even if I didn't know or follow everyone. I was just like, wow, it feels like we all just kind of were in Andromeda, like, together in, however many lifetimes ago. And then we just zoop, traveled in like a spaceship and landed here with different points across the Earth grid, but all connected through non-matter, which is the internet, right? So that's my experience with Andromeda so far. And when we go back and we visit through our meditations and our group talks, I always meet my parents and my Andromedan brother, which is very beautiful. And I come back really refreshed and rejuvenated. I remember my purpose. So yeah, that's a little bit about my experience.
Yeah, I love how you wrote about the at the end, like the meeting your parents and your brother. It really feels like we meet those people that have been with us since the beginning. And I've met my mother, I've met like my guides, my mentors, my partner as well. And it's wonderful to be like, yeah,
Like, I have so much family, I don't even know it.
exactly, exactly. So, yeah, if you're still on lockdown, everyone, please just just meditate and go meet your people. And they might have been, with you in this human life as well. But it's wonderful to know that you've got family. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when Earth family feels very hard to maneuver around based off of we chose them, but kind of going to Andromeda and seeing family there, it's like, oh yeah, I am loved, like, unconditionally. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And you were the first one who brought us to Andromeda actually in our meditation group. So it was wonderful because we kind of worked
Oh,
together where you brought us there.
nice.
And then I was able to do some healing on the throat with what was happening. But I love how we've all been collectively sharing things, and in the future we've got more that will be happening. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited. I look forward to each one. Every experience is so different, you know? I'm like, where are we going today? So thank you. I for some reason felt that you had been doing those journeys to Andromeda for like years, and I was just like initiated to do one, and I was like, oh, but finding out now that it was the first time, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was. It was. We had just been talking together one on one and like just sharing
Mhm.
articles and things like that. But yeah, the experience is always like I'm always trying to, I guess it's a 5-1 thing to be like, okay, we've made the research and now we're going into the
Mhm.
actual guiding and the experience of it. So yeah, do you want to talk about 5-1 being a 5-1?
Do you know, I'm still learning a little bit about it. I mean, probably when you're sharing 5-1 things about human design, it's resonating, but I've never really like sat down with it too intensively. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I study it through Gene Keys, actually.
Okay.
So
I just
through
got
like,
a book, so yeah.
yeah, it's so interesting. But to see the fact that like Jinky has a specific way of working, and then you understand that you were born as this, and then you go into your soul with the one, the part of the one.
Mm.
So it's always like a back and forth between those two, and yeah, it's all about wanting to serve others, but also needing to be alone. So yeah,
Right. Wow. Well, that's us.
yeah, I'm glad we met.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, he sees me.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so dancing with non-matter. I want to like have a more conversation more
Yeah.
than like an interview, but I loved when you said non-matter is internet. I love that. I was not
Isn't
imagining
it?
that.
I feel it. I feel it's just like this right here, non-matter, but we feel it. So sometimes it's like stringy, right? The internet, and sometimes it's a little blocky and it's kind of like just like how we had a Zoom hiccup earlier. I felt like it was a really dense energy. So I was like, okay, bye computer. I'm gonna go stand outside for a second and try again. Clear me, clear the computer, clear this vortex of internet we have in this house that I'm in right now. And then we're back.
Exactly. And it's also that Mars square Saturn. Like we have to stop, we have to
Mm-hmm.
leave it and then start again. So welcome to the next few weeks.
Right? Oh, Mars square Saturn. Here we go.
Yeah. What a year. What about non-matter? For me, I channeled all those titles, like all those talks that I wanted to have this year, and for you it was just like dancing with non-matter grace. And I was like, okay, cool, let's go. And
Right.
I was seeing non-matter as actually like the ether, and
Mm-hmm.
just like this, energy sharing, and like you every day you are connected with the elements. You go to the beach, you share that, and you
Yeah.
also have like your nature and animals, and yeah, that's how it felt to me for non-matter. The fact that we can't touch it, but it's such a vibrant part of the everyday life compared to
Really.
before a few years ago, where everything was the chair, the table, and now it's like light language, right? Okay, light language,
Right.
I understand it. Great.
Like you'll say something and I get it, even if you're not speaking, right? So yeah, definitely non-matter just feels like as we're moving into kind of keep it when I say that because it's like we could pivot and then go here for a little bit and then pivot and go over here and then the destination is still the anchoring of this consciousness, but moving into remembering that like wow, I can feel the energy of the wind. What is the energy of the wind telling me? I can feel the ocean energy. What is she reminding me? Because the water doesn't forget anything. And it just makes life so much more like blissful because you're so connected. And I think the non-matter is that intricate part of what connects us to everything, not just each other, but to everything. And you feel like you're here with it all. And it's hard to put into words, but it's very like, there's almost like this reverence and this like bowing down to the divinity in everything through the just non-matter that we get to dance through every day. And I feel like eventually maybe we'll just be telepathic and not have to speak, and we just look at each other and we know what we're communicating. That, I don't know why that just came up, but I was like, ooh, telepathy, what? So that's how I'm feeling with non-matter right now. Yeah. How are you feeling?
I love that. We could do a full conversation just not speaking. That would be great for the podcast. Silence. But
And
I've
then
been,
it just translates it to what they're needing.
yeah. For example, like we met in a dream like 2 weeks ago, and
Oh
like
my
there was a,
God.
yeah,
It
there
was
was
such a
a,
fun dream. Can I tell everyone about it?
of course, go. Let's go.
Okay. So let me go back into that dream really quick. All right. So I was in France, or yeah, I was over there where Capucine lives, mostly because I've been watching a Turkish Netflix series. So at night, I feel like my soul wants to go hang out over there for a little bit on that side of the world. I'm in the United States. And I was in this cafe or a house. I don't really remember, but it was very intimate. There was little wooden tables, yellow cloth on each table. And then there was one table that had 3 plates of French toast, but they had like little candles in each one of them and sprinkles. So I was like, okay, it's someone's birthday. I was pulling the chair out to sit down, and then Capucine and another gentleman walked in, and we all like celebrated and we ate French toast. So nice. I was like, I never want to wake up from this dream.
But before that, we also had like a nightmarish part of it
Oh,
where
yeah. Grace is only thinking about the French toast. Oh my gosh.
it's okay,
Yeah.
we can just skip the nightmare and go into the French toast.
And then my body's like, no, don't go bed. So yeah, that was quite the experience. I actually don't remember it fully right now, but I know that you visited me. Would you open up that remembrance so I can kind of
Yeah, so
go
what
back
happened
into
is
it as
that
well?
there was a kind of a zapping of electricity that attacked me, and it was both physical and in my dream, but I stayed in the dream, and it felt like, I mean, it was a trespassing into my energy, and I'm
Mm.
pretty like full of boundaries, and you can't get in, but that person got in, and suddenly I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was on a field and I entered a tent and you were here and you were helping me. And I was like, Grace, I need your help right now. This happened. And it felt like we were a group of people who had just been zapped and going to you for
Ah,
reparation.
I remember that now. And then, but I ran to my grandmother to make sure. It's almost like my grandmother in this lifetime was kind of the, what is, when you're in war or in battle, there's like a head chief or something where they kind of oversee the planning and the strategy. She was that in my dream in that same night. So I went to her to make sure that we were all okay or what was happening. And that's when I woke up. I didn't get an answer. So yeah, but I was like, Grandma, why is this happening? And I woke up.
Mm.
There was some other part of it that I'm not remembering for some reason. Also, why am
I
I?
remember having to go back on the field and then I woke up and I directly messaged you and I was like, I just saw you. Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for soothing me because it was scary to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think that that night, I don't know why I'm not remembering it. It's like the veil is really thick to that memory, but I was seeing a lot of friends, all friends that I know that are in this work with us. Kind of, I was just checking up on them, but I didn't really feel like I was in a specific scenario. It was just more of like, okay, how are you doing? Okay, how are you doing? Just kind of watching their existence, but not intermingling and trying to fix it. Just kind of like observing and tending to them from afar.
And you told me that you also went and like alerted others, to tell them like this is happening.
Oh,
Take
yes.
care.
Okay, that's why I went to everyone. Yeah, yeah. I definitely told everyone to kind of do something. Alert is a good word. I see, I'm not even remembering it fully right now. It's so weird. I usually remember my dreams if they're that intense or energetic. I'm like, what am I protecting myself from right now? So, yeah, it was intense. But that whole day I was kind of exhausted.
Me
So,
too. Mm. It was traumatizing to be like, first time something this big happened. Like
mhm,
my layer has been opened, and
opened.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like violation.
definitely, exactly. Well, we're all together and we're protecting one another. So thank you for having
Definitely.
been that person in that time. And yeah, we'll be there.
I treated you to French toast so
Yes.
you could feel better.
I'll send you one through the post. That will be beautiful in a few days. Like, oh,
Yes, perfect.
yeah.
Well, I'll eat French toast one day.
Hmm. Um,
So,
so what
yeah.
about non-matter more that I want to share? It's like
Yes.
your one of your program is called Awaken and Evolve. And I love
Mm-hmm.
this idea of like you're bringing people from one point to another. And that's non-matter. You're basically working with people on non-matter and they're totally different at the end. And for example, when I teach others as well, it's like I didn't sell a product. You didn't buy like a mug or a microphone. You got time with me, energy with me, and then
Mhm.
everything inside changed. So how do you feel?
Yeah.
How did you create it?
Oh my gosh. How did I create it? A blue jay. I love blue jays. Okay. Well, I was sitting down with the earth because I knew that going into this life as an entrepreneur, or just really not even that word, but bringing my gifts into the world and, making a living off of it and just helping people in that way. I wanted it to be very sacred and very easy for people to digest because we process so much day to day. So I was sitting at the beach, which is where I get all my downloads, and my soul is connected to the creator, but my physical human experience is wanting to serve the earth, as we all do. But so she was like, get people into their bodies, get people to understand that they are more than their bodies at the same time, and sprinkle in some of the cosmic energy that has helped me throughout my lifetime. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So chakras and astrology and Reiki, done. So it's just everything that kind of was poured into me coming into this lifetime, I was able to kind of pour back into the students that I've had. And it's evolving as the name goes. So I'm working to make it more accessible and inclusive for everyone. Changing my wording as I'm learning how to approach, you know, this human experience, not just like she, him, but more of like they and them. And after the Black Lives Matter here in the United States, so much was coming up collectively for us to grieve and to feel the anger and the injustice. So I was like, I can't not dismiss that. So including that in her Awaken and Evolve, is a Cancer Sun, Pisces Moon. She's very, very flowy, very watery, very intuitive, but likes to be kept kind of safe and held. So yeah, that's just kind of how she came about. And I've watched people transform. It's almost like an invisible influence that we have through our energy, and that's non-matter, right? It's like you don't have to be holding their hand the whole time, but they're feeding off of what you have. So that's why when we are presenting gifts, to take care of our own energy is so crucial as well, because we're paving the path for others to also be with us in this way, to feel strong and resilient. So yeah, that's just how Awaken and Evolve. She's here. She's just chilling, and yeah, I've seen beautiful. It makes me cry, like when I mean, I'm sure you cry too, of like just like, wow, this is possible for not only me but everyone that comes into our sphere in our non-matter circle. So yeah, that's her.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I love that. What makes me cry is to see that we're all going through that. like, and in the next years, everyone's going through that. Like, this is like a non-return thing. Like, we're
Yeah,
changing
there's
this
no
whole
going
world.
back.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like, wow, we're the first ones to write this new book, you know? This has never been written before.
Hmm. Exactly. Imagine the interactions, the communication between people in the future. I mean, that's, yeah. So you,
Goosebumps.
yeah. You mentioned the fact that you have to take care of your own energy because you share of your gifts. What do you do to take care of your energy?
Mhm. Yeah, I spend a lot of time with myself and in nature, and you know, that's like the most nourishing thing. Um, I've moved through so much of my layers and just kind of always. I'm a Virgo moon, so but in the eighth house. So if I'm not healthy, like in this with my food or whatever, I'm more so always tuning in to be very cleansed and healthy through my energy. So through my chakras, through my fields, and then it leaks out to being drawn to eating more food for my aura, my radiance, taking care of my body moves, and is like for me, it all starts with my energy. I mean, that sounds so simple to say, but before I would take care of my physical and then forget about my energy, and then now it's reversed. It's like, no, take care of this, what you can't see, and then you're going to see how just intuitively I'm drawn to different things to take care of me so that I'm full as much as I can be. I mean, sometimes we take time to break down and rest and grieve and cry and all that, but I'm still really grounded throughout it all, which I've never felt before until quarantine hit because I was forced to be with self. I would give a lot of my energy away, like previous years. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe. I could not say no. I did not know energy boundaries before, like this year. So, yeah, boundaries. So important.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all learning. That's the thing, like, we're still learning things as we guide others. We're still going further and further into our depth and our own galactic history as well. So galactic and genetic, and then everything else. But yeah, it's not just like you talked about the word entrepreneur. It's not just work. It's definitely our life. Like, there's no 9 to 5. There's no like
It's
switching off.
everything, every day. Yeah. Oh, it's so true. How do you feel this year with everything? Have you always been working with people, non-matter wise, through virtual, or did you ever go out and do people in person, or do you know what I'm saying? See people in person.
I know what you're saying, but I was always in a different country, so I was always working virtually.
Oh yeah,
Because
the
yeah,
travel.
yeah. So yeah, not much has changed with that, but it's been extremely beautiful to gain more confidence and to be like, this is my life purpose. This is not just this year. This is like
No.
ever, forever.
Oof.
And yeah, just sorry. I've been traveling through France to like go on different points and meet my own energy there and get activated. And I realized how I've been doing this for many past lives. So this is who I am. This is my identity. And I was like, ooh, okay. It totally
I
shifted the
love
whole thing.
that.
Like, okay, I'm really that person. That there's no like imposter syndrome. Like, I actually have even more to bring about, more to
Yes. Oh,
discover. So yeah.
so beautiful. I was so excited to watch you travel and like when you were climbing those tall heights. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. But it's like she's always done it. Like even though you were scared in this lifetime, I felt like you've been like how you said already doing this.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's calling me back again, so it's interesting too to be like, wait, what? I thought it was a one-time thing, and then I'll just go to new places and it's like, no, you're coming back. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
Oh, you're like,
So I'm
okay, you
excited.
can drag me. Let's go.
Hmm. What I love about this, and that's something that, for example, Sarah sent me. She sent me a whole article about Tintagel Castle, which is part of the Arthurian legends. And the woman who went there and took photos was like, well, it's locked down, so I'm not traveling in any other country. I'm studying my own country, and that's where our lineage comes from, right? Like genetically, I'm a French person. No matter where from Andromeda I come from, in this lifetime, I'm French. So lockdown has made me stay in France and see the richness of France. Like obviously, I want to go to other places, but it was like, huh, like there's something for my body in this country, and I should be discovering that because I've been abroad for 13 years before, so it's kind of neat to be here and to be like, whoa, the richness of all that. Good, thank you.
That makes so much sense. I love that because it's like you said, your origins are, Andromeda, like through your planetary body, but your human body's like, no, this is my genetics, like France. So discovering those gifts. Mm. All those travels. I love traveling for that reason. Everything gets reactivated at certain points. So yeah, isn't your moon? Oh, sorry, my internet cut out. My bad.
Yeah, you've been cut up after all those gifts.
Oh, that's it. All those gifts.
Ta-da! My moon is in Sagittarius, by the way, so that's why.
Okay. The
I'm,
traveler. Oh.
yeah, I'm very happy about, and it's my North Node and Venus, so I'm like, and in the
Oh,
fourth house, so it's kind of traveling at home.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And wow, I love that. My North Node is in Sag in the 10th house.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we've got the axis reversed because my
Mm-hmm.
South Node is in the 10th house, but yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah. And yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
yeah.
And I definitely feel that energy. Like moving from the South Node to the North Node is such an access point of like, kind of like if you've been wearing certain skin and then you move past the South Node into the North Node, you just dissolve that skin, but it comes through a lot of like deaths, like death and rebirth. And I don't feel fully that I'm moving into it just yet, but I know I'm walking the path from the South Node to the North Node in my own timing. But that's where we're going. So
Yeah, you've got a lifetime for that, so you know, you don't have to stress about yeah, walking there. And I think it's also a back and forth, which is something that helps me as well. It's like I'm always going to be super talented at the south node and then try to go towards the north node, and maybe it means that I've got a, for me it's like career and home, so it's like
yeah.
the 10th house career, so I'm good at like making it, and then
Mm-hmm.
learning to sit back and be like, okay, so I made it, now what can I do for my own home, like how can I feel safe in this space
Yeah,
and
that's so true.
paint the walls.
I love that you made that. It looks like a landscape to somewhere special.
Yeah, it's a rainbow, but it's the oceanic rainbow because it's iridescent like
Yeah.
all the seashells. So that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. I actually felt Egypt when I looked at it the first time.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
For me, that's what it brought up.
Cool. That's what
She's
I'm
an
working
Egyptian
with.
artist.
Yeah, I've been working with my Egypt past life, and yeah, it's
Mm,
exciting. Did you have a past life in Egypt? Let's talk about
wow.
this.
Yes, I did. I feel that, well, I did a past life regression and I was there. I just remember my death. I was in a bed of gold. I was like a princess or of royalty. My grandma was with me in that lifetime and she was there. I had two big tigers, loved them. I don't really feel like I had much that I was working in on that life. I was just kind of sitting pretty. That sounds so bad. But I was secretly like very mystical, but I didn't want to share that gift because I felt like it was going to put a kind of like an attack on me, or people would be like, oh my gosh, she can do this. But so I kept a lot of my mysticism hidden, but I could feel it all the time. I just didn't want to share it with anyone because it would target me. But I died. um just like the death was a slow death, but it was somehow I was somehow poisoned is what I remember. So it kind of was like a very slow, excruciating kind of like, oh, everything. And then I just left. But yeah, I don't remember exploring. I don't remember ever leaving my home. I just remember sitting in my home all the time, which is very resonant with this lifetime. I used to never leave my home. I was afraid of what would be out there, until I did that past life regression, and then I moved into traveling more. Because my Mars in Sagittarius is like, no, girl, you got to travel. Venus in 9, you love to travel, go out there. But it was some type of it was a fear that I had. So yeah, that was me, just sitting with my 2 tigers. But more so, there's more to discover there. But yeah, that's what I remember from my past life regression there.
I love how going into a past life helps you to deal with this trauma, like the present life trauma. I love that.
Totally. It's very eye-opening, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how this is working out for me now. Mm-hmm. What about your past life? Okay.
Well, one of them, I know that I had multiple, but one of them I was a healer and I discovered some pretty cool secrets about medicine and they were not being accepted. So I had to keep like a secret school where I was teaching it and subsequently never dying because I was just regenerating myself. So I was super old watching
I
all
love
the people who hated me die because they were just dying of age. And yeah, just
Oh
like
yeah,
being there, it was nice. Yeah, it was
I
interesting.
feel that because now you have your Reiki school.
Yeah, it was super
Yeah, and now you
interesting.
have your Reiki school. Oh,
Sorry?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, go, go,
I
go.
said, and now you have your now you have your Reiki school, which isn't hidden. You know.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest thing as well that I had to cross, like that fear of teaching, because to me it meant death. It just meant dying or being in danger to share my teachings or share anything. And I still have to cross that again and again because I started with teaching Usui Reiki. So, it's not, it exists, right? But as I move more
Yeah.
into my own teachings and my own experiences, I have to fight the fear of you're gonna, get hurt and,
Oh my
you know,
gosh. That's so true. Especially, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean by that. Because we all have our own teachings that we've cultivated through past lives and that have just been downloads that we've had and we've taught it before. But because it's not anything in a book or it's not anything like that you can refer back to and be like, this is true, this is right. It's that kind of like, am I going to get hurt if I'm teaching this and there's no like, you know, reference back or however in this lifetime that we're in where everything is very much by the book and all that. So
yeah.
yeah.
And like I've worked with a lot of people who have been traumatized, whose soul have been traumatized because they were killed because of this. And
Yeah.
centuries after centuries, lives after lives, we're still traumatized by it. So we have to do things such as, releasing our vows of silence and then
Yep.
being super brave into sharing those things. Like, we're not just Instagram accounts that try to sell you something. We're actually putting in our
Yeah.
souls, our hearts into it, and also fighting trauma to go and give you those life-changing experiences. So, yeah.
Exactly. We cannot compare ourselves, and that's what I've been learning is like I can't compare myself to anything or anyone because this is not like anything else. And it's for all of us. Like you have your gifts that you're starting to remember and bring back here for your work, and I have my gifts, and then the listeners that are here, you have your gifts. So that comparison is a big kind of like safety that keeps you from pushing into that edge. Um, but again, it's a lot of trauma that we've experienced getting killed for this too
Hmm.
before.
And there's absolutely no competition, and there's no one who's doing the same thing. Otherwise, there would be just one out of the two, because
Yeah.
we're on a mission. We're not here for
Yeah.
like, and we're here. We have I don't want to say usefulness or like utility, but we're here for something, and that's why we're here. So, yeah.
I believe that. I'm
Mm.
always ever since I was born, I was like, I'm here for something, but I don't know what. Okay, I'll find out later. Yeah. I'm like, does no one else think this way?
Well, maybe that's the
Um,
Sag North Node.
I think it's a Sag North node that, because I feel when you say these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, same. But not everyone. So yeah.
Would you resume in like one sentence what your mission is? And of course, it's bound to evolve, but
Oh,
I know that was not
oh
a nice
man,
question.
that is okay. Mission. Hmm. Feels like a bridge. Like I'm here as a bridge for, and when I say bridge, it's kind of like on one side is, you know, pain, struggle, uh, hurt, fear, all the things that we've plugged into as a consciousness, and then I'm the bridge that can kind of be like, no, like look what's over here, the truth, your authenticity, your joy, your abundance. Um, Even when it's hard to maneuver that bridge and it can be rocky or unstable, like that is your truth. So just being like an immediate bridge for people to step out of what they see so tunnelly, and then be like, oh, broader perspective. Okay, that's my truth. Cool. I don't know if I can really grasp it, but I know that I can start walking towards it. So the word bridge just came to mind, and kind of opening up the waters to walk through, kind of like Moses, separate the sea, walk down, and then we're good. Just kidding. But yeah, bridge came through.
I love that.
That's a sentence. That's a long sentence, right? I was never good at that. When people would be like, tell me about yourself, when in MySpace days or in school days, I'd be like, do you just feel me?
I'm smiling, right?
Smiling, right? Yeah. What would be your sentence, quote unquote?
Oh God, I was trying to feel it too, but I guess it's re-evaluate the relation between others and you. And we're
Mm-hmm.
so focused on others, so focused on what they're doing and stuff. But the reality is that we are our own like planet, and I want us to feel the aura, feel the chakras, feel the cosmos that lives inside, because that's the richness that helps you
Mm-hmm.
to live, and then you're here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that feels so resonant. Yeah. We are such a planetary body, just oh, so beautifully. I've been connecting to Carl Jung's energy this past week, and I'm like, huh. It's been so sorry. And it's been he and I have the same birthday. So I'm like, why am I connecting to Carl Jung? But
I
whoa.
put it
What does
yesterday.
that book what does that book say? I
It's
can't
the
read it.
red book.
The Red Book.
Mm-hmm.
I've never read it. Never read it.
I'm starting.
But I feel like I need to dive into some of his teachings for some reason. And then you just showed me that book, so confirmation.
Yeah, definitely. It's his teachings are wonderful. So it's not one of my first books, but you will connect so deeply. He's one of us. Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
definitely.
When is his
Oh,
birthday?
November 9th.
Oh, nice. Cool. So he's a Scorpio too. Scorpio gang.
I know. I'm like, thank you for being such a great teacher for me to follow. Just
Hmm.
because it's like Scorpios are so can be perceived as such, and I'm like, no, like you have to find the true Scorpio, the depths of us.
Or like just a Scorpio who doesn't hate himself anymore.
Right. And
Because we're
that's a
all
big
born with that, right?
yeah, we were born like fighting ourselves and like. I
Hmm.
wonder where that shift really took place. I can't even remember it right now, but that shift from like anger with self to compassion to self. At some point there was a shift, but yeah.
Can I tell the story of like what I connected with for me? I'm sure it's gonna help a few. But in astrology, they have an archetype. They have an arc a character development for Scorpios. And it's from the depth of the water, where basically the Scorpio for them is like in a pond, in the mud, in unmoving water, kind of sifting through the ground in the depth, which is cool, but also like doesn't have any light, doesn't have any clarity because they're in the mud. And then when they reach a level of consciousness where they can actually just like get out of that, they become the eagle and they can take flight and they can start to see things with a wide angled perspective. And that feels good. And that's amazing. And you should try to always, go back and forth between when you feel like a Scorpio, go into the eagle mode. And when you're really into the eagle mode, you can go into phoenix mode where you're like death and rebirth and also showing the way because you're a light with flames. So yeah, that
Mm.
really helped me to be like, oh, I'm being a Scorpio right now. Let's just like take a flight. Try it. It really helps.
Ooh, I'm being a Scorpio right now. Let me grow my wings. Be an eagle. I love that. That makes so much sense. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So we're really actually Phoenix Sun, Phoenix Venus. I'm just kidding. No more Scorpio. Just at the beginning, we all are. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that archetype. Um, yeah.
Yeah, just take flight. And if it helps to move your arms, it really helps
Yeah,
to me.
we have our little wings, right
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Do you have a question or anything you want to talk about? I'm kind of out of themes right now.
Hmm. Honestly, that Schumann scale that just like went blank is still in my mind. You
That's
remember
crazy.
posting? Yeah.
And do you see what it's doing now that it went blank? Now it's
Oh,
doing a specific thing. Like the way it looks is
mhm.
totally different.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it today, but I just looked at the post from yesterday and I was like, "Oh my gosh." There was one point yesterday where I was sitting down, but also I was helping one of my teachers do a class for Zoom, and I was watching her teach. She was teaching on past lives, and then I was sitting, and immediately I kind of like blanked out, and I went into like a council, and she was teaching the same thing, but I was sitting next to her, and then I came back into the physical. It was like I can normally merge and jump timelines when I'm meditating, but I was like awake and present, and then I just went, and then I came back. I was like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I need to focus on what she needs me to do. So it happened like 2 seconds in.
It's
Yeah.
crazy when I've
How have
been
you been feeling?
go, 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 please.
Oh no, how have you been feeling?
When I close my eyes, I just see like I'm with people. I'm not here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, shoo, okay. Oh no, 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 no. It's really
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
that timeline, everything's kind of like dissolving. And you know how Inception, did you watch Inception ever?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it's like kind of that like melty, gooey energy that's just kind of cool. That's how we are. That's how I feel.
It's in Paris where they filmed as well. So
No way,
yeah,
really? Oh
yeah,
my
where
god.
everything explodes and like everything shifts and like the bridge
Mhm.
goes like this and like you're like
Oh my gosh. I That's literally my favorite movie. I could watch that every day of my life if I needed to.
come.
Wow. Paris. Now I have to watch it and feel like I'm there, you
Yeah,
know?
come have French toast and then everything disappears.
I think that's like my final destination before everything kind of disappears is go to France, have French toast, and then that's it.
Okay, like two Scorpios talking together. Such a
This is
wonderful
really too
conversation.
Scorpio. I love.
Well, thank you so much, Grace, for being here. Thank you for our time together and for this conversation that took many turns. But yeah, if you want to give us references to connect with you, work with you, can you give us that?
Yes. Thank you for everyone that listened and tuned in and also went on this journey with us. I'm over on Instagram at Gracie Noellie, or you can type in Guided Grace Healing into the search box and I'll come up. and we can connect through there. If anything resonated, I'd love to just chat and be a human with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Capucine.
tell us where you're from. Everyone, tell us what's your star seed.
So, origin from Florida, human body, but Andromeda starseed. So, yeah, let me know where you're from too. Both galactic and earthly.
Yeah. All right. We will do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.
You're welcome.
Bye.